If I were again beginning my studies, I would follow the advice of Plato and start with mathematics. What has philosophy got to do with measuring anything? It's the mathematicians you have to trust, and they measure the skies like we measure a field. Mathematics is the language with which God has written the universe. Measure what is measurable and make measurable what is not so. It vexes me when they would constrain science by the authority of the scriptures, and yet do not consider themselves bound to answer reason and experiment. By denying scientific principles, one may maintain any paradox. In the sciences, the authority of thousands of opinions is not worth as much as one tiny spark of reason in an individual man. We must say that there are as many squares as there are numbers. The book of nature is written in the language of mathematics. Science proceeds more by what it has learned to ignore than what it takes into account. I think that in the discussion of natural problems we ought to begin not with the scriptures, but with experiments and demonstrations. To command their professors of astronomy to refute their own observations is to command them not to see what they do see and not to understand what they do understand. The Bible shows the way to go to heaven, not the way the heavens go. The Milky Way is nothing else but a mass of innumerable stars planted together in clusters. It is a beautiful and delightful sight to behold the body of the moon. I've loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night. If you could see the earth illuminated when you were in a place as dark as night, it would look to you more splendid than the moon. I have never met a man so ignorant that I couldn't learn something from him. The sun, with all those planets revolving around it and dependent on it, can still ripen a bunch of grapes as if it had nothing else in the universe to do. Where the senses fail us, reason must step in. It is surely harmful to souls to make it a heresy to believe what is proved. The laws of nature are written by the hand of God in the language of mathematics. To understand the universe, you must understand the language in which it's written, the language of mathematics. You can't teach anybody anything, only make them realize the answers are already inside them. Knowing thyself, that is the greatest wisdom. Nothing occurs contrary to nature except the impossible, and that never occurs. If you could see the earth illuminated when you were in a place as dark as night, it would look to you more splendid than the moon. You may force me to say what you wish, you may revile me for saying what I do. But it moves. Scripture is a book about going to heaven. It's not a book about how the heavens go. All truths are easy to understand once they are discovered. The point is to discover them. I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with sense, reason, and intellect has intended us to forego their use. Nature is relentless and unchangeable, and it is indifferent as to whether its hidden reasons and actions are understandable to man or not. Two truths cannot contradict one another. Names and attributes must be accommodated to the essence of things, and not the essence to the names, since things come first and names afterwards. You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself. God is known by nature in His works, and by doctrine in His revealed word. Holy Scripture could never lie or err, Its decrees are of absolute and inviolable truth. Mathematics is the key and door to the sciences. In questions of science, the authority of 1,000 is not worth the humble reasoning of a single individual. The greatest wisdom is to get to know oneself. Passion is the genesis of genius. Who indeed will set bounds to human ingenuity? Who will assert that everything in the universe capable of being perceived is already discovered and known? The book of nature is written in the. There are those who reason well, but they are greatly outnumbered by those who reason badly. Nature does not act by means of many things when it can do so by means of a few. Measure what can be measured, and make measurable what cannot be measured. With regard to matters requiring thought, the less people know and understand about them, the more positively they attempt to argue concerning them. To be humane, we must ever be ready to pronounce that wise, ingenious and modest statement, "I do not know." In the sciences, the authority of thousands of opinions is not worth as much as one tiny spark of reason in an individual man. Thanks for watching. Waiting for the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe.